I'm Marc Silk, and Anderson fans might know me for I'm the new voice of Troy Tempest. So, okay, Marina, let's go. Fire Sting missiles. The new voice of Steve Zodiac in Fireball XL5. So, okay, Venus. Okay, Steve. Right, let's go. The original voice of Captain Wayne Rigby in Thunderbirds Are Go. So it's all very cool with lots of big ton eyebrows. Thunderbirds Are Go, and the stacks of other stuff, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Amazing. I mean, I think we could just end the interview right there. We've got value for money already.
My credentials.
Marc Silk, welcome back.
Thank you,
I should
Richard.
say, to the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Now, last time it was audio only. Where did you do that interview?
That was from my studio in Solihull near Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we're actually in person.
We are in person.
I've alcohol gelled myself up and I'm ready to go.
Now, you've got over 100, I counted them, IMDb credits for your voice and acting work.
That sounds really good.
Are there any of them, and this is a tricky question, that really stand out for you?
Yeah.
Go on, then.
Well, I worked with George Lucas. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. So is it like a name drop counter?
Go on.
Yeah, so I worked with George Lucas on Phantom Menace. So a huge Star Wars fan, and to get to work with him on that, I play a character called Axe Mo. So he's like he looks a bit like reused from the earlier films.
Oh, yes.
But it's like a goat's head, 3 eyes, and a desperate need for moisturizer.
Right.
So with him, there's a guy with extremely cool hair, almost as good as mine, called Johnny Bravo. Oh, mama.
Okay.
Where for 4 years I was the voice of that for Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Then if you grew up in America, I was for 6 years the voice of Bob the Builder.
Yes.
So I was the American voice of Bob. So it's like, hi, Bob the Builder here. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. Come on,
amazing.
Scoop, Mug, Dizzy, let's go. Today we're going to teach you how to build a concrete bridge, which is a real practical skill for a 5-year-old, right? And then there's like Pingu and...
Amazing.
Did you watch the Pingu? Newt? And what else we got? There's loads of stuff.
I mean, the 6-year-old you must be absolutely thrilled.
Oh, I love it.
So what were you watching and enjoying as a kid? Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually do. So it was Bagpuss, it was Trumpton, it was all the Cosgrove Hall stuff.
Yeah.
It was Muppets. I was in love with Muppets.
Right.
But I was in love with the Anderson stuff. And it's, what a coincidence.
Yes.
But when I was at school, I was watching the reruns. It was mostly Stingray. It was Stingray, Thunderbirds, and Captain Scarlet.
Now, previous podcast guest Kate Harbour, who I know you know well, told us that one of her sort of earlier formative experiences was voicing as a kid the Muppets.
Yeah.
Did you do similar things? Did you voice your own characters?
I'm not sure I did. I was fascinated by the behind the scenes side of everything. So my heroes were often people on the other side of the glass, on the other side of the studio.
Yeah.
So my heroes were people like Derek Meddings and Barry Gray and David Graham and Shane Rimmer and Jim Henson and Mel Blanc. And so it's often the people that you didn't see in front of the camera. Because it's a thing of like, I loved magic, but the thing I loved more than anything was to figure out how the trick was done.
Yeah.
So it was... To begin with, the thing I wanted to do was really work behind the scenes as opposed to on a microphone.
Ah, I see. So watching Thunderbirds and so on as a kid, it wasn't the voices that particularly stood out to you so much?
Well, it was. I mean, it was kind of everything.
Yeah.
Because Thunderbirds especially, it's so special. I watched another episode of Thunderbirds earlier just on the train in, and when they're moving the Empire State Building, and they were movies. It was so much grander and grandiosa, biggerer.
Sounds like a drag name. Go on.
Starring
Grandiosa.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. But it was so much bigger, and this bombastic Barry Gray music. Those voices too were. I mean, the voices. When you unpack what they were doing with those voices, the casting and the performance of those characters, they were movie-like performances. They weren't kids' TV shows.
Yeah,
they were movie performances.
Yeah,
the special effects. When you got the same guy that worked on Bond, who did this beforehand, that says a great deal. There was just the quality, the lighting, the music, the sound design, everything. It stood out from anything else that was on TV. I fell in love with that.
Now let's put your memory to the test then, Marc, as we play a little game that we like to call Super Identification.
Oh, golly.
I'm going to play you very quick clips from each of the opening credits to every Gerry Anderson series. Okay. Let's see how many you can name. Shout out when you see one that you know. Okay. Ready for this?
Yep. Is it Four Feather?
What's this?
Four Feather Falls.
Four Feather Falls, you think?
Torchy? Oh, boy.
Oh, hold that thought. Next.
Oh. That's
Oh, next.
That's not Fireball. It's torture. Is that Fireball?
No.
What?
You said it once already.
What? No.
This is very
Supercar.
Well done.
Fireball.
There you go.
Redemption. Stingray.
I think we're on firmer ground.
I'm kind of like that. Stand by for color. Thunderbirds.
What could it be?
Are Go. What a hero. Captain Thingy.
Yeah.
Captain Scarlet. Joe 90 for Hypnotic. Secret Service.
Yes, well done. You got that one.
Oh, they pick it. Oh. UFO?
Yes. Bit of an outlier, this one.
Well,
Golden.
Space 1999.
Yep.
This is an emergency.
Terrorhawks.
That's it. You got it.
Dick.
Well done.
Spanner.
Yeah.
Space Police.
Yeah. Close. Yeah. Close enough.
Legend.
Lavender Castle.
Yeah.
Across the universe.
And finally.
New Scarlet. New
Well
Captain
done.
Scarlet.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what did I get?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Mark.
Yes.
I can reveal exclusively. You've got 14.
Wow.
Which isn't bad at all.
Out of 50?
I think, no, yeah. So you struggle with the earlier ones there.
Yes, yeah.
Twizzle we had at the very beginning. Then Torchy. Four Feather Falls you got but out of order.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go. Rather hastily scribbled 14.
It's
a
very
slight
impressive.
amendment made
Beautifully
there.
done.
Let's talk about your Anderson experiences.
Yes.
Let's talk about Fireball XL5.
Yes.
And before we talk about it, let's have a look at a little clip.
Okay.
Bay doors open, preparing to release ISO gas. Gee, those volcanoes are mighty angry and real burning hot.
Careful, man. It's another eruption right beneath us.
I'm
This just
holding
in.
on, Steve. Can you steady the ship?
We're doing our best, Matt, but the blast waves are affecting our stabilizers.
Well, just hold her as steady as you can. And releasing ISO gas.
Venus, re-establish lateral control.
Got it,
Nicely done.
Steve.
I'll
Thank
give
you.
us full power green on retro boosters.
Full power green.
Matt, are you okay down there? Matt, come in. Matt.
It's very dramatic.
Wow. Cloud of a billion lights. Fireball XL5.
I just released ISO gas.
I thought you had, yes, just by the way you were sitting. So, Steve Zodiac.
Yeah.
Was that a voice you were familiar with before you were
Oh,
approached?
yeah. When I was at school, they repeated Fireball XL5 on, I think it was like lunchtimes.
Yeah.
So I'd come home from school, and that was ready for me. And my only reason for existing that day was to go home and watch the repeats of Fireball.
Right.
So yeah, and again, obviously black and white, but it didn't matter because the stories were so good. And it's the same with every Anderson show that you love, or same with any show you love. It's great stories, great characters, great performances.
Yes.
And something that's really helped that stand the test of time. Because it'd be very easy to throw that away as just going, it's an old bit of kids' TV. But the performances were so good. The stories are really strong. But it's the music again.
It's always the music.
It carries you
Yeah,
through.
absolutely.
The music's incredible.
That's
But yeah,
right.
yeah. So I used to come home and watch those, and I would say out loud in between sandwiches before I went back to school. I'd be there actually doing the two voices, going, "Okay, Venus. Okay, Steve. Right, let's go." and again his voice, the way that he performed, the way that he performed Steve, it was slightly more showy than some of the later characters that they had. It was like,
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
let's go.
Uh-huh.
Almost like a radio DJ.
Yeah,
like
right.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Venus, right then, let's go. Yeah.
What's interesting, I mean, I think Gerry himself said he never spoke down to his audience.
Yeah.
And I think the voice actors, the designers, the musicians, no one was ever less than committed to these series.
Yeah.
I think that's what perhaps sets them apart.
It was all played straight. And,
that's right.
And again, you played straight, and the whole thing is done as real. You never talk down to them. You're all on the same level.
Yeah.
And again, that's I think as a kid too, you respect that because you're being spoken to as an equal.
Yeah.
And you're getting drawn in the same way that you get drawn into the stuff that your mum and dad watched.
Yeah.
Or in my case, and it stands the test of time because of that.
It's a tough gig, isn't it? Stepping into those shoes, though. People who've grown up watching and enjoying.
It meant so much to me.
Yeah?
Really. I mean, of course, it's like it's work and a thing
Yeah.
to do, but it's one of those where you just want to be in the room.
Yeah.
I mean that. It really was, because I'm so fond of these characters and shows. There's certain people, the thing where you go, what do you want to do with your day? Who do you want to spend time with? What do you want to be, getting up to? And it's this. So to be able to continue that legacy of those characters is very cool.
Any sense of responsibility at all in that? Or? Yeah.
Yeah, because you know yourself, when you see a show and they get it wrong,
Yeah.
or there's a remake of something, or it might be a new version of whatever it is, and it's not quite there. If you're a fan of it, you actually care.
Yeah.
You're there kind of going, well, you want to watch it, but you kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's that. I've had that with there's been animation shows that I grew up loving, and
Yeah.
there's been reboots,
Yeah.
and like it wasn't quite there. But this, I think you nailed it.
How aware are you of feedback from the fans? Do they get in touch and let you know?
Yeah,
let you know how you're doing?
fans will let you know. Yeah. I mean, they've been positive.
Yeah.
They've been really positive about it because, again, it's those original actors did those performances, and that's it. And what you do is you take on the same direction that they'd have taken on when they created those voices. So the way I look at it is, I'm not trying to do an impression of them. Of course, it's got to be in the same place, but it's almost like they created the instrument, and you're now being given the instrument, and it's your turn to play it.
Nice.
So you might play it slightly differently. These are new songs to play, so they're going to be different anyway.
Yeah.
So you can't copy them. But there's so you're. In the end, you're bringing it's your performance, but it's still got to be that character.
Lovely.
And that way, then, as a fan, you can walk away. I can walk away proud of what we did, and hopefully, fans enjoy it too.
It's time to answer some questions from our viewers and listeners.
Wow.
Mark. As you can see in our rather tasteful Space 1999 lunchbox.
It's a very tasteful lunchbox.
We have, so many questions for you. We're going to spread them out. So if you could just reach in and take
Yes.
just a couple, take just two, and then we'll answer some more
neatly printed.
later.
That says one.
Yeah.
And they're folded up. It's quite
Oh,
secretive.
yes, there you go.
Right. Question number one, please. From Paul Hyder. Hi, Mark. Hi, Paul.
Ah.
Very friendly.
Oh, yes, always.
What's your favourite non-Anderson franchise? If I had to, well, it's between two. It would be between Warner Brothers cartoons of the 40s and 50s.
Right.
That I was watching reruns of when I was a
What,
kid.
we're talking Looney Tunes and
Yeah.
Merry Melodies?
Yeah.
Right.
So as a kid, same thing. Great,
Yes.
incredible music. Full orchestral scores.
Yeah.
Amazing voices.
You got your
are despicable.
That's
This
it.
is the last time I worked with someone with a speech impediment. All that stuff.
Mel Blanc and
Yeah,
so
Mel
on,
Blanc.
great.
The same guy do. I tried to a pudding tan. You bet you throw a pudding tan. That pudding tan of me. And the same guy doing these little gentle voices was the same guy going, "Say your prayers, you love-eared varmint, or I smash you to smithereens." And then in the for Hanna-Barbera stuff, he was going,
Yeah.
"That's right, Fred. Come on, Betty, let's go." He was everything. But so Warner Brothers cartoons, amazing art, but again edgy. Like where Disney was beautiful, their shorts were beautiful.
Yeah.
But so it was between those or Henson.
I see.
So I was a massive. I just adored the Muppet Show.
Right.
Because it was again great music.
Yeah.
Amazing performances.
Yeah.
Brilliant characters.
Absolutely.
But same as with Thunderbirds, and same with the Anderson stuff. I was just probably more interested in how do they do it. And there was a documentary called Of Muppets and Men that I saw when I was about 10 years old. And you just saw the camera pull away from the shot you're used to. And it was this revelation of, oh my word, who's
yes.
underneath that?
That's right.
And it was fascinating. So I was so inspired by that. But yeah, so Paul Hyder. Hi, Paul. Let's go with Muppets.
Okay.
Because I have to commit. So let's say
Yes.
Muppets.
Very good answer.
Question number 2, please. From Jonathan Westall. Hi, Jonathan. It says, out of all the voices you do, which have you found the most challenging to perform and why?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
What constitutes a challenging voice? One that's just completely out of your range that you have to struggle to find?
I think if it was out of my range, I probably shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So there should be someone else there, and then together we collaborate and make it work. I think it's usually when it's something as important as like the Anderson stuff, or if you're being brought in to continue the legacy of another character. So like late 90s, I got approached to be the voice of Scooby-Doo for over here.
Mm-hmm.
I did Scooby for like years, for Cartoon Network and Warner and lots of stuff. And you sort of sit there going, well, you know how it sounds, but you've got to bring it to life. And it was important that I matched it properly.
Yes.
And so I was like learning it like a language tape.
Yes.
I put the headphones on, listened to Don Messick's original going, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And I go, Scooby-Dooby, that's wrong. Scooby-Dooby, and then eventually go, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. and like in Shaggy as well, Scoob. Like, it's really freaking me out, Scoob. So I think usually it's out of all the voices you do, which we found the most challenging, it's probably like a collection of when you're when you're continuing the legacy of a character, doing it that way. But
when it's more of a faithful recreation. You have less license, perhaps.
Because someone's already established what the expectation of that character is. But in the same way, you might have someone else play Batman.
Yeah,
and it's still Batman.
Yeah,
it's just that it's new Batman.
Yeah,
and so it's like, well, is it okay that it changes a bit? It's a different Spider-Man. Yeah. It's a different, you name it.
Now, when did you first realise that you had this gift, this talent, that you could do this?
It was the last couple of years at school. So there was a media course that I nearly didn't do at school because I was the quieter, studious one at the front of the class, while everyone else was making noise at the back of the class. Yeah. And this media course, there was a sound side to it where you got to use a mixing desk and edit and create stuff. But part of this thing was you had to do this radio show at the school. I nearly didn't take the course because that terrified me because it's like, my heroes did that, but it was too much. So I was forced to do it, and it was like being pushed in a pool and figuring out you can swim really well. Yeah. Because it was all these. I think it was all these influences that sort of, you become like a creative sponge, and like given the right place, you wring it out, and you realize, oh my God, there's all this there, and so. It was that moment when I was at school when I started to almost recreate my favourite like Muppet characters and Stingray characters, and in the same way that Level 42 did, the famous English band, when they started their live shows. Yes. I started my radio show with "Stand by for action." Okay. And then 5, 4, 3, and the most important number is 2 in the Thunderbirds countdown. Right. Because it's 5, 4, 3, 2. It's 2. It's that. It's only tiny. Most people go 2, but it's 2, right? 1. It's that. It's silly, but it's a little thing. Nice. It started off at school.
I asked you in our email exchange to provide me with your first Anderson memory, Mark.
Yes.
And you were very specific about this.
It's very specific.
It's one that I know lots of fans will join you in, but there's also a rather nice little story behind this as well, or a particular memory attached to this. So let's have a look at your first Anderson memory.
Oh, great.
There he is.
It's this.
Off he goes.
There's the fella. I mean, why just walk in?
Yeah,
when he could do that?
That would never do, would it?
Yes. Can you imagine if a theme park did this?
Yeah. Looks perfectly happy.
Oh, I love this. Slinky, there you go. This is so, it's like
Isn't that cool?
Come on, outfit.
There we go, that's Virgil.
How did they get dressed again? Because the uniform drops down, right?
Oh, yes, it does. Now, we cut a bit too early there, or rather I cut that a bit too early. You do see the uniform rising up through the hole in the floor.
But how's he got his trousers on?
Haven't really thought that through, Mark, to be honest. There we go. That's Virgil Tracy, of course, entering the Thunderbird 2. Yeah. Much referenced. Homages all over the place. Aardman famously in Wallace and Gromit. It's purely that. Yeah. But you have a very lovely and sweet memory attached to watching that as a child.
It was the thing that stands out to me as my first Anderson memory, and it was my nan used to go on holiday and fly from Birmingham Airport, and back when it was called Elmdon Aerodrome.
Oh, wow.
Before the big one was there. Yeah. And she'd fly on a Saturday, and we go to the airport, and there were a bank of TVs. There were black and white TVs. Color did exist, but black and white TVs, and a load of chairs bolted to the floor that had slot meters on them.
Right.
And you could put, like, say, 50p in and watch
And
TV,
watch TV.
For like an hour, whatever. and all the screens were all on Thunderbirds, and it was all on ITV. And clearly, we'd arrived, a bit of the way through an episode.
Yes.
And that was happening, and it was just joyous because you see this whole thing happening, but on a stack of TVs all at once.
Yeah.
And it was, I was hooked.
Now, so was this kind of TV what you would watch at home with your family?
Oh, yeah.
Was this family viewing at the time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my dad loved it. My
Yeah.
mom loved it. But, Dad was especially a Thunderbirds.
Right.
So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Reg.
Yeah.
So, but we'd sit and watch all this stuff. And he was so, Mom and Dad were so enthusiastic about encouraging me to follow what I love and be part of this.
I see.
Yeah, they adored it too.
Yeah.
And of course, the greatest ship of all time, Thunderbird 2.
Mm-hmm.
There is no
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah, there you go. So we very often find that when people watch Thunderbirds now, that it's sort of through a lens of nostalgia because it taked them back to their early childhood.
Yeah,
Do you feel that as well?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also I watched the episode that I mentioned earlier. I watched an episode today on the train, and I was absolutely engrossed in the thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of it was cool because I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
That was more entertaining than a bunch of films I've seen over the last year.
Yes.
And it's this is a good nearly an hour's worth of TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's nostalgic. But I watch it because they're still great shows.
There are so many different components to your career, so many different strings to your bow. Video games features large.
Loads.
What is that a different process, voicing characters, or is it much of a muchness?
It's the similarity is you're performing a character that if you're playing a game, you want to hang out with these people. It's someone that you want to spend time with.
Yeah.
So ideally, it's a character or it's a voice that is stands the test of time that you want to spend a lot of time listening. Or it might be something small, like the very first Nintendo game. I did one Nintendo game, the Nintendo 64 rather. So it was a cartridge game, and I felt like I'd arrived because of a cartridge. Now you can do updates and things over the web.
Yeah.
This is a brick.
Yeah.
And it only had limited memory in this cartridge. And all I did was player 1, fight. Player 2, fight. Game over. It's called Fighter's Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah, but the process, to answer your question, is you're creating a character that's right for the game, that's believable, that can take you through the experience. But whereas this, we have a script that we perform it through.
Yeah.
You are literally, it's like every single permutation that you can do often with these things.
Right.
So it could be, open the door. You can't open this door. You need a key to open the door. Where's the key? You found the key. That's the wrong key. Oh, the door is open. Oh, gotta find another door. And every single...
And are these to picture generally, or
No,
right?
No, you got like an encyclopedia. You got like a huge brick of text. There's a great game for Sega called 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus.
Yeah.
I've been working on those games for it must be 5 years now.
Right.
And as you played the game, there's this radio station that's on in the background, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And while you're playing there's some beautiful elevator music in the background, and 3 different, extremely endearing personalities. So at breakfast, it's Ricky Hawthorne in the morning. Good morning. And if you're coming to get your spleen scraped out, bring some change for the slot meter, as the electricity is on the wonk. There's that.
Right.
And it's the Nigel Bigglesworth who takes over from him at lunchtime, who sees everyone other than myself as absolute scum. And then there's the guy at night. Oh, Harrison Wolf, the conspiracy theorist, that guy.
Oh, good.
But again, the thing that makes that so great and has given us 5 years worth of stories within that is the writing is so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Harry the writer, it's like having his points of reference are incredible. It's like 10 different authors all in one brain.
Yeah.
And he writes every different character with a completely different personality. So let's me go nuts.
It's time to open the box.
What?
Let's take out 2 more questions from our viewers and listeners, Mark. Let's see what they would like to know from
Very
you.
exciting. There's thousands in here.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
It'll keep us going.
Sorry to the others. Here we go. Question number this one, please, from Steve Bushell. Hi, Steve. It says, with a face for TV, you're very photogenic.
That's nice, isn't it?
Can we spend some more time with this question?
Now let's move on.
Yeah. He says, I'm surprised you only seem to do voiceover work. Was this a conscious decision, or have you not had the opportunity to be in front of the camera? Do you perform any vocal exercise before your performances?
Oh.
Well, first of all, Steve,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your judgment. Thank you for your time. It was a conscientious decision. I've just always been drawn to this side of the work. I can do so much more with this than I could ever do in front of a camera.
Right, because you're not tied by your physicality, I suppose. You can be a 60-year-old 5-foot dwarf. You can be a 12-foot ogre.
Yeah. Exactly. So but it's that, and also even like place. So for America, I was the voice of Bob the Builder for nearly a decade, and you kind of go. I had someone come up to me at a Comic-Con. I do love Comic-Cons and signings. And I love meeting the like-minded people that we all like the same stuff. Yeah. And I had a guy come up to me once and say, don't you think it's kind of weird the American voice of Bob the Builder is not performed by an American but an English guy in England, even though it's for America? And I said, well, that's a really good question. I said, actually, did you know the voice of Scooby-Doo isn't actually performed by a dog? And he went, oh, I get it. It's the performance. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But again, if you were known as a known face, people would know where you're from and all that. And you can. There's so much more you can do. I mean, even down to technically, I'm a big tech head. I've thank you Thunderbirds, you taught me well, and I started as an engineer and as a producer and as the button guy,
right,
directing other people before I was doing my own stuff.
Yeah,
and so technology's our friend now. Hello, and I've had it where. I've been in a hotel in America somewhere, and I take a little microphone with me. I've recorded like stuff for games or national TV commercials from the hotel room.
Yeah, right.
And it's very helpful.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah.
Sure.
What was the question? Obviously that. Yeah. And then, do you perform any vocal exercise before you perform? Not really. I mean, probably. I tend to sing, so I tend to have a song on and then sing along with that. Not necessarily because I need to, because it's kind of fun and gets you in the zone. Yeah. But I'm okay sort of sitting down just doing it.
Yeah, diving in.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Oh, we have another one.
That's it, yep.
This is from Button Moon Hannah.
Ah, yes, lovely Hannah, yes.
Do you know Button Moon Hannah?
Oh, yes, of course, yes. We know all our wonderful podsterons.
This is fantastic. Well, hello to Mr. Spoon. Hello, Mark. Spelled correctly, thank you. I couldn't decide which one question to ask, so I thought I'd just use them all. Good. Thank you, Hannah. What was the reason you were chosen to voice Troy and Steve? Would you like to do more for Anderson in the future? And if you were in the Anderverse, would you be an astronaut or an aquanaut? Oh. Well, let's go through these in order.
Yes, good.
What was the reason you were chosen to voice Troy and Steve? Because Jamie and everyone that works with Jamie, including Richard, have impeccable taste in vocal performance. That's
true.
And I hope it's because they knew that they could trust me to do it right, hopefully. And I'm a fan, and it means a lot to me. But in the end, it's going to be right for this. And I'm really proud with what we've done. So that's hopefully the reason. Would you like to do more for Anderson in the future? Yes, please. Yes, please.
Don't look at me.
Studio audience, anyone? Yeah. But I'd love to. Absolutely, yeah. And if you're in the Anderverse, would you be an astronaut or aquanaut? I think astronaut. Because the aquanaut thing, you could get very wet and soggy with the outfit. And you think of some of the outfits in Thunderbirds, they're super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in Captain Wayne Rigby for Thunderbirds Are Go, that I'm the voice of, he's got a really cool outfit, super cool jacket.
Oh, yeah?
I would like his jacket.
Yeah, okay.
So,
nice.
Button Moon Hannah, I think I'll be an astronaut.
Excellent.
Thank you. What would you be, Button Moon Hannah? Please tell us in the comments below.
Yeah, do that, exactly. What's the most common question you're asked at cons or...
what's your favourite character?
It's all the questions I've asked.
Yeah, it's right though, because I'd ask the same thing.
Yes.
It's like usually what's your favourite character, and often it's the latest one you've been working on.
Sure.
Because they're your new best friend.
Yeah.
But then it might be something that goes, way back to something you did years ago. I mean, there's a show I worked on with Jane Horrocks called Fifi and the Flower Tots, and it was like a family working on that. And I was this little boy bee called Bumble, bouncing blueberries, Fifi, Fifi, forget-me-not, forgot. And then there was a slug called Slugsy, who was completely adorable and lovable and a bit moist. and so I love him. But there's loads. I mean, even I do loads of strange stuff too.
Yeah.
Like within reason.
Yeah.
And even that stuff. So I love the fact that those voices that I grew up just adoring. It's me doing my tip of the hat to those people half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So for years it would be me that you hear going, the magical world of Disney, that thing, or loads of kids' toy commercials.
Yeah.
There's a radio station in Dublin called FM 104. Now, back to the music. Dublin's hit music station. Your chance to win €20,000 and a meal with Richard. So it's all that stuff. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
We have to talk about Thunderbirds Are Go.
Please.
Which is sort of, technically not a Gerry Anderson production, but of course sort of a continuation or a reinvention of a much-loved classic series.
This is true. It started off by me watching it. So I watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I let them. There was a director that I was working with on other shows. There's a great show called Go Jetters on CBeebies. Go Jetters, where I am the marvelous Grandmaster Glitch. I'll get you, no Jetters. Tearing up the furniture. But there's a guy that I work with on that who was a sound designer called Dave Peacock, and he's a brilliant voice director. I've got so much time for Dave, and he knew how much I loved it. And I don't know whether he actually brought me into cast on it, but it was a collaboration of being around those people, and I think people knowing that I can do this, I love this, and that.
Yeah.
And I got asked to audition for it. And it's interesting just finding his voice again, because I saw this picture of him and he's just super cool, with freshly baked on eyebrows. They actually look like it's stuck on like this. And we were kind of going from one to the other. Should he be English or should he be American?
Right.
And so it started off like Captain Wayne Rigby at your service.
Yeah.
International rescue should go back to what they do best, rescuing kittens from trees, this kind of thing. And then we kind of the whole Anderson feel. You just take it stateside. Yeah. And there's just this swagger.
Yeah.
That kind of. It adds this extra element of cool.
Yeah.
And it was, there was this line which was more or less, international rescue should go back to what they do best, rescuing kittens from trees.
Yeah.
Okay, if you must. And on the first, and you kind of hear that and feel he's cool. And is he a bad guy? Or is he a good guy? And I'm not sure we even knew on the first episode that he arrived in season 3. But yeah, I love being in that.
Is it a collaborative effort, or between you and the director to find these voices?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you sort of find yourself meeting halfway, as it were? Or?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, in the end, the program makers know the character better than you do.
Yeah.
You're brought in originally to create a voice that matches their vision, and that can sustain however many episodes or however many seasons. Yeah. And so, there's straight away when you say Anderson, cool character, you kind of know where you are, kind of. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a good starting point. You know the benchmark of what the expectation is going to be. Which guitar do I pick up to make this sound right? It's that. Yeah. And then and then you are guided by what they think is right, because also it might be that you can do something that sounds really kind of cool, but it has to fit in with what the others are doing too. So again, sometimes one of the reasons why you might not get cast is even though you've done something that's actually a really nice idea, it has to fit in with the bigger mix. So the ingredients just all have to be right. But yeah, it's a huge collaboration.
And how does it work technically? Are you generally... So there are many people in the cast, let's say half a dozen or 8 or 10 people in a cast. Yeah. Are you brought in to do your work separately in a booth, or do you...
I'm so glad to say we did it together. And this was dream come true
and
stuff.
That's rare, is it? Or
I think it's becoming more rare,
right.
yeah. But I was just happy to just watch, to be there with everyone else. Because, I'm part of that show, so I'm massively proud of that. But what I adored was being in the same studio as David Graham.
Ah, yes.
And for David to arrive, and he's one of those names that are the part of the mix that made me want to do this.
Yeah.
And so for David to be there.
Yeah.
And
did you get the opportunity to tell him that, or dare you tell him that?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got a couple of photos of us at the studio, and there was an exhibition of animation and kids TV in Coventry a year or so before then, and I made sure. But it's important to tell people this stuff.
Yeah, we say that often. On the
It
podcast.
really is. It's very easy to either be, if you're a fan, to be in awe of somebody.
Yeah.
And so you either fanboy or just get don't really have a proper conversation.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, it means so much to meet you. I said, thanks. I said, you're part of the reason why I do this.
Yeah.
And what I loved, the next time I went in, I entered, and he went, "Morning, Mark."
Oh.
And it's like I could have filled up, which is, it's lovely because it actually means something to
Yeah,
you. So,
that's right.
but the cast were great. David was there, Kay Van Novak was there, and I remember the excitement in the room where literally this information was locked down and no one could say it when it was decided who was going to perform the voice of Jeff Tracy.
Oh, yes.
Well, because first of all, we didn't know would we find him at the end of the final season, but we certainly didn't know who would play the voice.
And it was.
Lee Majors.
Yeah, amazing.
And you go, Lee Majors?
Yeah.
I mean, this is royalty.
Yeah.
$6 million man, the
Yeah.
fall guy, it's Lee Majors. And so for that to happen, that was very exciting. And then we had there was a wrap party once all these things, once the whole thing had been finished, and they were wonderful enough to give us this a special feature-length screening of the last 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So they did a special edit of the last 2 as one.
Yeah.
And the guy from Hackenbacker Studios, he did a special mix of it too for the theatre.
Amazing.
And everyone was there. Rosamund Pike was there. All the cast were there. I was there, and it was. I mean, going down the stairs. Went down the stairs for this, this special screening, and I walked in there, and I knew there was food, some nibbly bits. Walked in there, and I'm thinking, I don't recognise anyone, and it was The Incredibles 2. It was screening for Incredibles 2. I know you. I don't actually know you, but hello, I'm in the wrong room. But it was apparently that was quite good too.
There you go. Yeah,
but ours was better.
Provide me with your favourite Anderson character. That's a big ask because there are so many series,
Yeah.
so many characters.
Yeah.
But
This is niche.
Yeah, this is pretty niche, and you were quite quick to point this particular one out.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
let's have a look at this.
You are about to witness, folks, one of the greatest
It had to be.
engineering feats of all time.
Ned.
Yeah.
The guy had to stop filming us at the oil well.
Yes, Scott. He'd do anything for a story.
In a few moments, the National Television Broadcasting System will show you a construction job that leaves the building of the pyramids in the shade.
Look at that hair.
Today, the Empire
It's great
State
hair.
Building here in New York City
Great eyebrows.
moves 200 yards, not piece by piece, but as it stands, all 1,250 feet of it.
The size of that camera.
We'll explain how this tremendous task is going
Yes.
to be performed.
On its own rostrum.
It's incredible.
The reason why the Empire State has to be moved is simple. The whole area around the Great Monument has been demolished to make way for modern development. Of course, we couldn't have the old Empire State knocked down, could we? No, sir.
No, sir.
I would like to have been there today. Yeah, me too.
It's Ned Cook.
It's Ned Cook?
Yeah.
I love that.
Why?
guy. Well, it was, again, it would be so easy to say Scott or any of the others
Yes.
that I really do love. But Ned Cook, there's something about him.
Yes.
As a kid, I always loved behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
I always loved TV, when you saw TV cameras or microphones and lights and buttons and reel-to-reel tape.
Yeah.
And so here you got this guy with this microphone like he'd never seen before because it's kind of like a bit odd.
Yeah.
And when you watch it back there, you realise it's not even facing his face. So that's a hell of a microphone. And then and then to see this TV camera, the size of a shed, and he looks amazing too. The red top he's got on. I'd wear that now.
Yeah.
But so, it was the drama and the excitement, and then this whole idea of this outside broadcast. So I always love the behind the scenes stuff. So
Yeah.
Ned's he's a dude.
Yeah, I found that really interesting that you chose Ned Cook because there's something quite sort of the announcer, which is something you also have a lot of experience
yeah.
in. So obviously he's a character, but it's more performative than that.
Oh yeah. It's like for the first time ever. It's all this. We're going to move the Empire State Building like 2 meters to the left. We're not sure why, but it's essential. And they predated a building in New York that actually was moved.
Yes,
there was a theatre that was raised up.
Right.
In Times Square, I guess. And luckily, International Rescue or Ned Cook were not needed for that particular show. But if it's ever done again, I would love to bring Ned back to life.
Yes, you heard it here first. We have to talk about, you've been part of some amazing franchises. You mentioned it some time ago, the Star Wars franchise, of course.
Yeah.
But also in your email, you were talking about a very particular event you were part of at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've always loved the work of John Williams, and he's the soundtrack to our life. John Williams, Barry Gray.
Right.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
So John Williams is a absolute hero, and working on Star Wars means so much to me. But being part of that opened up a lot because I think that gave people trust. It helped give people trust in what I do. Anyway, end of last year, I hosted a Star Wars symphony at the Royal Albert Hall. It was the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and me live at the Royal Albert Hall, and it was. I'd have loved to have seen it, but I couldn't because I was on stage doing it.
Yes.
But the demand for tickets went bonkers. So we ended up doing 2 shows in the one day, and over 10,000 people came to see it, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, I was just fanboying out at the back, just hearing when the lights went down, and you heard the 20th Century Fox Overture. It was goosebumps.
Thrilling, I'm sure.
And we had to make sure that the orchestra paused because you're meant to go straight into the main Star Wars theme, but the crowd went nuts just for that because it's epic. It's epic.
Yeah.
So and then they introduced me, and again the response was lovely.
Yeah.
Because I don't expect that automatically. You kind of know you'll get a polite ripple, but they went nuts. But what was great for me on the second show on the evening, my mom and my brother and family and friends were there, and she was in a box. And just before the last tune, I said to the audience, I said, I have to share this with you. I said, we have a VIP in the room with us tonight. I said, she's the person that introduced me to the world of Star Wars. Please help me say thank you to my mom and Silk. She's over there.
No.
And they put the house lights up, and they went.
Oh.
They did 2 sounds. They went, oh.
Yeah.
And again, house lights up. Mom was waving, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely being able to do that.
Yeah, incredible. So we get more questions from our viewers and listeners. So I think there are just about enough. Yeah. Take a couple more.
What
Mark.
you mean is there are thousands of questions still in this box.
That's right. We could be here weeks.
That's a
There
big.
we go.
Okay,
Take
get
2.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you. I'd love to see the printing machine that does this. It's very exciting. This is from James Pilson Wood.
Yeah.
Hi, James Pilson Wood. It says, hi, Mark. I've even spelled it correctly. Thank you, James.
That's always a good
Pilson Wood.
sign.
It says, one of my favourite video games of all time is Hogs of War. What was it like voicing the project, and did you have the opportunity to work with Rick Mayall? You've got great taste, James Pilson Wood. Well, Hogs of War was on PlayStation. I think we did it on PC as well, quite a while ago, and it was nuts. It was like Hogs of War, and these huge commander nutbags. And I did a lot of characters. I'm not going to pretend that I remember all the voices I did on that, but it was a lot. And there's a real fan base for this thing, because I know they've been trying to get it remade.
Right.
But there's a guy who is so dedicated to recreating this or bringing it all back together. So thank you, Guy, but yeah, it was Rick and me, and I loved Rick Mayall, and I didn't get to work with him in the studio for Hogs of War, but I did get to work with Rick on like all day on I think it was hang on, which is the English one, Cindy or Barbie?
Cindy is the English
of course
one,
it is. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So it was Cindy, the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So So and it was Rick Mayall and me.
Yeah.
And John Nettles, I think it was as well. it was surreal, and it was so much fun. I mean, he was absolutely electric, but he was so professional, but just a stack of fun.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we kind of got on okay.
Yeah.
And he came back to pick a bag up from the green room.
Yeah.
And I was there, and we just talked. We like sort of riffed, bouncing things to and from each other for about a minute.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, I don't know, like when you get a couple of guitarists just playing
nice.
and having fun,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't. That's how they talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we spoke to each other. And then I think he swore at me and said, "Okay, I'm going."
When you work with these people,
Yeah.
is there a sense that you're still kind of watching and learning? Do you take things from?
Yeah, always. Yeah. Well, because I think everyone does. It doesn't matter where you get to in your career, because you'll go, "Oh, I can do this now," or this piece of music will allow me to slow it down or work with the track more, or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
You're always figuring something out.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I'll buy magazines to do with nothing to do with what I do, and you'll see ideas or vocabulary, or see how somebody else works. So I got friends from, I know a load of people that do this kind of work, and people in the public eye and things. But I've got a lot of musician friends, and chefs and baristas, and again, it's all creative.
Yeah.
All of this is creative.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Another question there, I think.
Oh,
Mark.
hello. Yeah, that's what that was
Yes.
for.
Go
This
on.
is a big one.
Oh, yes. Strap yourself in.
From Scott Bilicki. Hello, Scott. He says, "Hi, Mark. We met 2 years ago in Telford for Wales Comic Con.
Oh.
I hope this isn't a complaint.
Yeah.
It seems quite
What-
detailed.
what do you owe him, do you think?
Yeah. How are you? I'm fine. How you doing?" He says, "My two questions," greedy.
Okay.
My two questions are, did you enjoy being part of Thunderbirds Are Go? Yes. And what is your... was a very easy answer.
There you go.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So, did you enjoy being part of the Thunderbirds Are Go series? And what is your favourite episode of Thunderbirds Are Go? Bet you enjoyed playing the character Captain Rigby. FAB Scott.
There you go.
Thank you, Scott.
Favourite episode?
Well, yeah. So the answer is yes, I adored it for the reasons that we mentioned earlier. But yeah, I loved it because again, it goes back to what do you want to do with your day. Yes, it's work. But it's really, I was just over the moon to be in the room.
Yeah.
And watching them work.
Yeah.
Watching the director work, or be there with the writer or whoever it might have been.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of fond memories of being part of that. And then love playing Captain Rigby. And again, just this absolute self-assured dude that looked the absolute business. And I'm thinking, I want my hair like Captain Rigby.
So now, is there a sense that, I'm not saying that you are not self-assured and an absolute dude, but is there a sense that in your work you're able to play characters? You're able to be other people?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So it might be someone that's a total, introvert, and oh my goodness, I can't do anymore. Please don't look at me. Turn the lights off. They give me hives, all this stuff. and from that guy to someone that's completely, this guy, whoever he might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you can play anyone.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. It could be anything. It could be anyone, anything for any age.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the reason why all the stuff around this room is here, because it's great stories, great performances. It's great.
Now tell me, so let's take an episode of, let's say, Thunderbirds Are Go.
Yeah.
What does that entail for you? Is that a day in the sound booth?
It can be. Yeah. Well, for Thunderbirds Are Go, they were very well organised. So Captain Rigby would be in certain scenes.
Yeah.
So I'd walk in there, and you'd have Dave, the director. You'd have the audio engineer, probably someone from ITV Studios, probably a writer in there too. David and Raz and other performers that were there. There was, Kay Van Novak. He was there, working with him a few times, and David Graham. And usually what would happen is we would be brought in for our specific scenes.
Right.
So in that scene, you'd have, there might be three performers, and you walk into, you've got the control room there with the mixing desk and everyone from the studio and the organisation, and then we're behind the glass. You've got a music stand with the script on, a microphone, headphones, me, them, or more polite, them, me, and we perform it like a radio play.
Right.
So
I
it's
see.
like a radio play, like a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's and it's an audiobook.
Yeah.
Available now. Check the links below. And we go through the scene until we get it right. or give it a couple of passes. You might be that it sounds great first time, and you go, actually, you know what? If you punch that up a bit, give it a break there, let us do our thing, and so the experience of it's usually scene by scene, and for Thunderbirds, because you've got a lot of people involved in it in the cast, usually on any episode, and guest performers, things like that. They would organise it so that. Make best use of their time, and then we go. Whereas there's other shows where you're there the whole day. I mean, and again, that can be just as great. I mean, there's a great show called Roy the Racing Car that Peter Kay and me did for a good couple of years, and to just spend all day in that company is a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you're asked frequently, how do I do what you do? So what was your way into the business, and what advice would you give to people who want to have a part of it?
Well, I got into it, I did work experience at a radio station. So in Birmingham, there was BRMB Radio, and it was this mega station. It was like Birmingham's capital, basically. It was a huge station. And the hosts on that were like, they were rock stars. You know, and you felt really connected to your local area. I applied for work experience at that radio station.
Right.
And they turned me down.
Right.
So I wrote back again, and they turned me down. Okay. And then I wrote back again saying, look, I will do anything. I'll come in school holidays, weekends, out of hours. I would just love to be there. It means the world to me. And so eventually they let me in. I've still got the rejection letters.
Oh, sweet.
And my duties at the radio station were filing Vinyl Away in the record library.
Right.
And when I'd done that, I would go and sneak into the production studio and watch people make stuff.
Yeah.
So my entry into it was a radio station, and I learnt from watching people who I thought were brilliant.
Right.
So, and it all kind of grew from there. I taught myself how to use a desk.
Yeah.
Then I started making little sketches.
Yeah.
I needed voices, and then eventually there was no one else around doing it, so I taught myself.
Okay.
But going back to advice, it's all experience. I mean, really now the entry level is cheap-ish. So, you know, if you have a phone, you have a microphone, you can start recording yourself. Record yourself reading stuff, and listen to it back, and for starters, imitate your heroes.
Yeah.
Because that's your only point of reference. It's like if you're learning an instrument. If you're learning the guitar, your only points of reference are your favourite guitarists.
Yeah.
So you'll start playing those tunes. And then eventually you might start noodling your own tunes and creating your own songs. And you go from being the cover band to the band. You know, and when you're the band, you can still cover someone else. But you're the band now. But the advice I would give is, if you've got people that you can perform with and play, do that. But record yourself, listen to it back, be a really good self-critic, and go, well, what have you done that sounds great? When you just hear a little moment that sounds great, enjoy that, and remember why, and figure out why it was great and how you can hang on to that for next time. And then if you hear it and it sucks, figure out why it stinks. And how you can make it better for next time. And like with everything, like we're all still doing now, you get better and better and better at what you do.
Yeah.
But the best advice is do it again and again and again. Actually, the simple answer is in 3 parts. Get good, tell people you're good, keep being good.
Right.
That's it.
Okay, and in the days of social media and so on, I suppose it's a little easier to tell people how good you are?
It's easier and the hardest it's ever been.
Yeah,
It's
right.
that. So you get good, you become the absolute best you can in your craft. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
You then tell people you're good,
Yeah.
because if you don't tell people that you're good when you're good, that's no good.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
then you keep being good, because if you rest on your laurels and if you just assume it'll just keep coming to you, you probably don't deserve it anymore. Meanwhile, there's somebody else that's working their backside off to achieve what you're hoping to do.
Yes, exactly
So I
right.
think it's that. Get good, tell people you're good, keep being good.
I like that. That's very good. Do you prefer sort of playing characters rather than the sort of straight announcing, or does that, and presenting and so on, or does that have a kind of thrill of its own?
I like the load now. The truth of it is, I think it took me about 10 years to get any good announce, although to be my own voice. It took me about 10 years to figure out what my voice was like.
Wow, right, interesting.
Well, because I knew what these characters sounded like, or I knew what some guy from Australia sounded like, or from Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I sounded like.
Yeah.
And I was all right, but I'd say it took me about 10 years to figure out how I sounded on a microphone, and how to perform and do that.
Yeah.
But I love them equally, really, because even the straight stuff is performance.
Sure.
Because it's still larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the that stuff for the station in Dublin. And again, almost a bit of advice as well. It's like I think it's good to be curious. You walk around and you'll see opportunities. Not that it's not calculated like that, but you just walk around genuinely interested. And I was doing little bits of sketches for the station in Dublin, and I said, what are you doing right now? And he said, well, I'm trying to find a new voice for the station.
Right.
And then 3 months later, he just said, how's it going? He said, junk. He said, we can't find anyone. He said, we tried presenters, DJs, actors, nothing. He said, and I said, well, it's got to start in like next week. And I said, what are you looking for? He said, well, something that represents the station. But he said, so I said to him, well, the station plays Irish American music, mostly edging on American. He went, yeah. I said, let's create a character there.
Right.
So it's not me.
Yeah.
It's this cool, strutty guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, your chance to meet Aerosmith in Marley Park this weekend. It's the Strawberry Alarm Clock. It's the Jam. All this stuff. And he went, oh, God. He said, you could have saved me 3 months. He said, you're free on Tuesday. Well, yeah. And he went from literally just being genuinely interested to that gig. Don't tell anyone, because it's almost like I can't quite believe it's lasted this long. I've been doing a recording session with them, live from my studio to Dublin, every week for 20 years.
Right. Amazing.
And those things don't happen.
No.
And what's happened, because it's not me, it's the voice of that station. It's evolved with the station.
Yeah.
So if it was just me, it would always sound like me.
Interesting.
And if the style changes, well,
Right.
yeah. So because this thing has moved along, it's become such a thing in Dublin now.
Yeah.
When other station managers have come along to change the logo and the feel of it, they've said, do not change the voice, because it is. Take me personally out of it, but they've said it is so well known now. Even if you don't say the name of the station, they know that it's FM 104.
Great. Yeah, it's amazing. We have to talk about Stingray, of course.
Please.
But before we talk about it, let's have a little listen to some.
Oh, well.
Stand by for action. We are about to launch Stingray.
Acceleration rate 6, phones. Let's go.
Looks like one of those flying saucers.
You boys have no idea what two determined girls can do when they try.
Oh, my.
But the Poseidon could have come up on any of the 4 cold currents from Antarctica.
So
Hey,
intense.
isn't it?
Blizzards can blow up manifest down here.
Blizzards. My word.
Damn squid. Fire a sting missile.
Too late.
Oh, Marina!
We must see that Troy Tempest does not lack the Antarctic waste.
Terrifying.
It can be very, very lovely.
Anything could happen in the next half hour.
He sounds really cantankerous. What was the name of that show again?
You are now the voice of Troy Tempest.
I'm very excited, Marina.
You're part of a long lineage now. You're part of the Anderson story. Those that have appeared in the series.
I'm really proud.
That must be amazing.
It is. I love being part of that, and even down to like connections that you go, how did that happen? My friend Richard, he's the guy that I bought my very first microphone and mixing desk from back in like early '90s, and we got on great. He's a really good musician. And after a while, he said, "Oh, come to mine sometime. Come and hang out." So I went over to his place, and you arrived at the building, and you go, "What is this? This huge building?" And it said Hollick and Taylor Studio. And so he answered the door. We walked past. There's a recording studio. What is this? And we go upstairs, and I meet his mom, Jean, and he says, "Oh," and his dad. He goes, "Hello, I'm John." And I went, "You're John Taylor?" I went, "Yes." I said, "You're Thunderbirds, John Taylor. You did the sound design for Thunderbirds and Stingray." He went,
right.
Yeah, I went, "I didn't know this."
Yeah.
and even like strange stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got to know John and Jean for years.
It's like this stuff has been sort of part of your life for longer than you've actually been part of it. If you see what I mean.
And I used to love going and just chatting with John about. I even like early on in me doing this for a living, before I was probably even doing voice work, when I was more of an engineer and producer, I did sort of like work experience with John, like just helping him in his studio, in the same studio that have done the sound design for Thunderbirds and Stingray.
Yeah.
I mean, they told me stories stories about how Gerry would go there when they were doing Fireball and basically, put the thing against his throat, going, welcome
That's
home.
it, yes.
And they're sitting there with like a bucket on his head, just like laughing like crazy. And then when a few years later, I did my very first animation work with Cosgrove Hall Studios, who are the people behind Danger Mouse and Duckula and Chorlton and the Wheelies and Wind in the Willows and all these legendary shows. And so late 90s, the show I was working on was called Rocky and the Dodos. And we're in the cafeteria there. And again, it was one of those kind of like, I was just so happy to be in the building because it was just, I loved going around the sets and the artist areas and everything. And we're in the cafeteria, and there was a guy there taking ages to choose the topping on his jacket potato. And he turned around, and it was Gerry Anderson.
Right.
And you go, what?
Yeah.
And then my friend, a guy that I adore, Chris Bowden, was there because we worked together on these shows.
Yes.
And Chris invited me to go and have lunch with them. So I sat and had lunch with Chris and Gerry.
Wow.
And it's like, I have a photo of me of this moment. It was Gerry and me and Chris. I look about 12.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. I just said, it's so nice to meet you. I said, John and Jean Taylor say hello. And he went, have they sold that bloody house yet? and it was just so nice to just have a conversation with him and spend time with him.
Yeah, yeah.
And so and Chris is so good. I mean, Chris was he directing Lavender Castle at the time?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, so he'll be working on Lavender Castle.
Yes.
And then now he's at McKinnon Saunders, just making absolute magic with his stuff. I admire Chris like crazy.
And to prove that you're one of us, Mark, you've brought a little something with you today.
Well, yes. This is talk about heritage. I bought this in Birmingham at a place called Nostalgia and Comics in 1984.
Wow.
SIG magazine. And on the back cover there, you got the hood.
There he is.
And this is how I learned. By the way, it was £1.25. So with inflation, that's about £14,000. And then you can see here, like, all right.
Yeah.
And this is before the internet, before the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Look at this. Terrorhawks is on video now, by the way.
Yeah,
Look at
wow,
this.
great news.
You can buy Terrorhawks on VHS for how much is it? It doesn't say.
Yeah, selected episodes only, I would think.
Yeah, so here we are. There's more information about Terrorhawks here and reviews. But I learned stacks about Gerry Anderson and Derek Meddings and the voice actors and the way the whole thing was created through this magazine.
Yeah.
Is there anything else behind the scenes here? Oh yeah, this one here, look. It mentioned a thing called Secret Service.
Aha.
What on earth was Secret Service?
Strange.
They weren't showing that when I was at school. but look at this stuff. I mean, it was all... It was clearly so fan-made.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
But yeah, and very detailed.
Yeah.
But I treasure this.
Yeah.
I've got a load of this kind of stuff. And I was at a Comic-Con in Birmingham about a year ago, and there was a guy there who was the guy that did the artwork for this magazine, and he brought artist proofs with him, and I just bought them off him, and he signed them all for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still a fan.
Of course you are. Now it's time for our final delve into our Space 1999 lunchbox. I think there's 3 questions left. If you want to grab them all, you're more than welcome.
Oh, let's do the whole lot.
Yeah, might as well finish them off.
It's your value for money show.
Well done.
Is there anything else?
Is that it?
Let's do that. Okay, let's do this one first. This is from Simpsons Clips.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Simpsons Clips.
Yeah.
Well, unusual surname. Is Mr. or Mrs. Clips? It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
Whoever you are, that's all that matters. So if things had gone differently, could you see yourself doing a voice in an unmade Anderson project called Stanley and Livingston?
Does that mean anything to you?
Nothing.
Oh. Sorry.
Well, I love Laurel and Hardy. So, I mean, to stand there, Livingston, don't know. In the comments below, Simpsons Clips, please let us know what you're talking about.
Yes.
That'd be marvellous.
There
Thank
you
very
go.
much.
Excellent.
So this one here.
Very quickly answered, anyway.
Yes. Well, thank you for the question. Richard Goodborn.
Oh, yes.
Hello. You know these people.
Of course we do.
This is great.
They're our
These are
friends.
these are probably regular people. So, which character from the Anderson universe, either Super Mario Nation or live action, would you love to voice next in an audio drama? Oh, my word.
Now, have you ever touched upon the sort of live action series, your UFOs and Space 1999s ever played a part in?
Yeah, I watched bits of them at school. I think I was so in love with the Super Mario Nation stuff that I was more drawn to that than anything.
Okay.
Although I did get excited when I saw I went to the... Did you ever go to the exhibitions in Blackpool and Alton Towers?
No, I didn't, no.
Are you saying you had a life?
So, I obviously had something much more important to do.
Yeah, doing real things. But I remember being so excited at Alton Towers in the 80s. They had a permanent, that only lasted so long, Gerry Anderson exhibition.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain there was something from, it was probably a wig.
Oh,
from
yes.
Space 1999.
Yeah, right.
I think the same wig was put in a box and taken to the Blackpool one too.
Right.
But let's see, what would you like to voice in an excellent audio drama? I love Commander Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's so cantankerous. Like, anything could happen the next half hour.
Yeah.
Stand by for action. Him. So let's go with that.
Okay,
And
nice.
then, so...
Great.
yeah, okay. Oh, well, finally. This is proper lots of words.
Look at that.
So from Willow Lambton Smith.
Oh, yes.
It says, "Hi, Mark. Hi, Willow."
Oh.
It says, "First up, I'd just like to thank you for being so awesome." Well, thank you.
What is this?
And for bringing new life to Troy and Steve, both of which you've done an amazing job with. Thanks, Mom. Is this my mom?
Yes, your agent.
That's so nice. You know, it's just both of which you've done an amazing job with. Thanks a lot. It was wonderful to hear news stories, but my question is, can I have Honey's autograph?
Explain.
Honey is my little girl. She's my little dog.
Oh.
She's the best friend I could ever have in the world. She comes everywhere with me, apart from here today.
Yes, what a shame.
But she's and she's a Cheagle. Honey the Cheagle. So she's half Chihuahua and half Beagle. So Cheagle. So my brother had a little Chihuahua, a tiny Chihuahua, and a pony-sized Beagle.
Okay.
And one day the Chihuahua hired a trampoline.
Right.
And magic happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So with just playing Aquamarina, just like quietly in the background, and so she had a list of 5 puppies. And Honey is one of them.
Oh,
and she's the best little friend in the world.
see.
And I'm sure you can have. I'll organise a Honey autograph somewhere.
Sweet. Lovely of Willow to say they're bringing new life to Troy.
That's really nice of you to say that.
Because I suppose what we forget is, you're famously in Stingray and Fireball XL5, we tend to think we're sort of pandering to the people who know these characters and grew up with them, but you're also inviting in a new audience.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah. Yes. It's important to be able to make it work for everyone, really. So you're hopefully performing something that just is great to listen to or to watch. You believe it. It's those characters and that's it.
Yeah.
But that's so kind of you to say that because
it's lovely. Are you ever tempted to use these voices in real life on the phone? Or?
Always. Every single day. I'd like a cappuccino with sprinkles, please. That's right, sprinkles. Yeah. Please bring me a cinnamon bun. Cinnamon.
That's easy for you to say. You also mentioned in your email several things that you can't even mention. I know you're involved in lots of top secret projects. So how easy is it for you to keep secrets?
I taught myself very early on to keep secrets.
Yeah.
Because even down to like sometimes there'll be something that you've been told it's quite likely that you'll end up being this thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I remember that years ago there was a huge thing, a huge character.
Right.
That became very well known.
Yeah.
And I was even told how much you would get for the first recording of it.
Oh.
Which was I wish they had
That's cruel. Yeah.
That's not fair.
No.
Buns for life, that kind of thing. And it got we recorded all these all these castings and things, and it got down to the last 2 people. It was myself and a very well-known comedian, and I got a phone call from my agent saying, "Just to let you know, you didn't get it." I was like, "Oh," but they want to let you know why.
Oh,
now
feedback.
they don't. Well, you never find out why.
Yeah.
You just didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they said so. The agency that was making this thing were pushing for you. The client didn't want to be swayed, so this morning he tossed a coin.
No,
He tossed a coin, losing a job because someone tossed a coin. And so that yours was my first reaction.
Yeah.
And then you go, actually, that's probably the best way of losing something.
That's true. That's true. Yes, on the toss of a coin.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not personal then, is it? At
No,
least
we'll go with that.
How would you pick yourself up from? Because as an actor, rejection is sort of part of the business, isn't it? How do you pick yourself up from a moment like that?
You just have to go, well, that's it. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You can't take it personally.
Yeah,
You can't.
That's right. Now, our viewers and listeners will be very keen to meet you wherever they can or contact you on social media. Have you got any events coming up that you can tell us about where you might be appearing in the next few weeks?
I'm going to a local bakery
months?
on Saturday for some buns and coffee with
Excellent.
honey. But there's Portsmouth Comic Con in May, which is it's really great fun. It's really well organised. The fans are fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a stack of cosplay, but they've been very kind to me ever since it first started. So I'll be there probably by the entrance as people walk in.
Oh yes.
The last one I went to. We couldn't do it last time because Prince Charles got coronated.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
How inconsiderate.
Yeah, wrong.
Yes.
So, but the last one I went to there, they opened the doors at 10. I started signing at 10:12. And then my first break was about 2:15. Literally non-stop. And it was just lovely meeting these people.
Now, do you like to talk or are you a signer mover?
Yeah, I like to talk.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, because, for me, I want to treat people the way I'd want to be treated. So if you meet someone you actually have taken the time to go and see, I want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah.
That matters.
Yeah.
I know when I've met people that really mean something to me.
Yeah.
You remember it forever.
You do.
So I they've been respectful enough to do that, and I like chatting with them.
Yeah.
So there's that. So that's Portsmouth Comic Con. Portsmouth Comic Con. Please come.
Very good.
And see you there. So there's that. Then there's one in Dundee that's coming up soon as well. Acme Comic Con in Dundee. Type it in the Googles, you'll find it.
Yeah.
And then there's the best one of all of them, naturally. Is there any greater than an Anderson-themed thing in July?
Stand by for Action 2.
Stand by for Action 2.
That's right.
The sequel.
That's it, Birmingham.
Yeah, I actually had I must send you this picture. I was there yesterday, and I stood outside the electronic sign and waited about 15 minutes for it to cycle through every single day
for
and
a
week.
selfie.
Oh, not February again. Just let me. Yeah. So I have a picture. So
Now, rumour has it, and I think we can announce this because I think Jamie's already mentioned it in the news, that you're playing a rather special part this year in Stand By for Action 2.
This is true.
Can you elaborate more?
I can. We're doing a special live reading of an episode of Stingray.
Marvellous.
With cast and performing characters.
Yeah.
There are musicians in the building too, so what could possibly happen there?
Incredible.
And I will be playing the delightful role of Troy Tempest, saying great things like fire sting missiles at Birmingham Symphony Hall. Don't fire any missiles at Birmingham Symphony Hall.
Let's not do that.
I live in Birmingham, please, no.
Yeah, maybe not. And finally, where are you on the socials then? Can we get in touch with you on Twitter or on Instagram and so on?
Please do. So on the Twitter, on the X, I am at Marc Silk. That's AMARCSILK. At Facebook, I am the same. On Instagram, I am Marc Silk Voices because someone else nicked it.
Yeah, right. Really?
But I'm on all of them, most of them. Yeah,
great.
Oh, on YouTube too. There's all kinds of cool stuff on YouTube.
Excellent. Marc Silk, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Gerry Anderson podcast again. Thanks for sharing with us your favourite memories and favourite Anderson characters.
Thanks for being interesting. Thanks for being nice.
Maybe we'll see you again soon.
See you soon.
Cheers, Marc.
Bye.